A major earthquake has hit eastern Afghanistan, with the Taliban government's interior ministry saying at least 600 people have been killed. The magnitude 6.0 quake struck along the border of the provinces of Nangarhar and Kunar on Sunday night. The epicenter is in a remote mountainous area, making relief operations extremely difficult. Some of the injured have been helicoptered to safety. Roads to the worst hit area are said to have been blocked by landslides. Officials say entire villages have been destroyed. While the Taliban is appealing for urgent help from international aid organisations. Our South Asia correspondent, Yugita Limai, is in Afghanistan's capital, from where she gave us this update.
Here in Kabul, we were jolted awake by the earthquake just before midnight last night, and the shaking went on for several seconds. We know, of course, now that it was a 6.0 magnitude earthquake which struck Afghanistan's eastern Kunar province, which is roughly a 3 to 4 hour drive from here. We have been told from several sources and from the Taliban government as well that there is large-scale destruction in the area. The Taliban government is saying that they've heard that there are villages that have been completely destroyed and that masses of people are feared trapped under the rubble. But this is mountainous terrain. It's extremely challenging to reach even in the best of times. So that's really hampering rescue and relief operations. We've been told that the road going to the epicenter has actually been blocked because of a landslide. We know that the Taliban government is operating helicopters to try to get people out of there. But the scale of the earthquake, I think the scale of the impact and the dead, it will be a while before we can truly get a sense of that. This region, again, mountainous terrain, very, very difficult to access. So any kind of rescue operations are going to be extremely slow moving. And further, what's happened is literally through the night and early into this morning, we've had more aftershocks as well. The earthquake is hitting Afghanistan at a time when this country is already grappling with severe drought in more than half of its provinces, and it's experiencing what the UN describes as an unprecedented crisis of hunger. The biggest medical facility close to the epicenter of the earthquake is the Jalalabad Regional Hospital in the Nangarhar province. And we've been there last year. And even then, when it wasn't dealing with a disaster, it was completely overstretched. More than 1,000 people just waiting in the complex to try to see a doctor, to try to get some kind of treatment. It is really going to struggle to cope with hundreds more who are being brought in injured because of the earthquake.
Yugita Limai there. With me is our news correspondent Aruna Iyengar. Aruna, just tell us the latest in terms of the information that we're getting.
Yeah, so the Taliban Interior Ministry has updated its figures, saying that over 600 people have been killed in the Kunar region. That's the east in Afghanistan. There's more deaths also in the region of Nangarhar province, which is just to the south of Kunar. It was a 6 magnitude earthquake, and it was 8 kilometres deep, which is actually quite a shallow earthquake, and it struck in the country's mountainous eastern region. About 27 kilometres away from Islamabad and around 140 kilometres from the capital, Kabul.
And the history of the earthquakes in this area? Yeah,
Afghanistan is prone to earthquakes. Particularly in the Hindu Kush mountain range, which is where the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates meet. A series of earthquakes last year in the west of the country killed around 1,000 people. It shows the vulnerability of Afghanistan to earthquake activity. Also, the infrastructure in the country doesn't help. Many of the houses are made of earthen materials, which means that they're really fragile and are vulnerable. They can collapse on top of people. In earthquake situations. An earthquake struck Herat in 2023, followed by strong aftershocks. There was also a big earthquake in 2022 in Khost, which killed around 1,000 people, causing widespread damage.
And now, under the Taliban government, how difficult is it for them or any external help to get to the people affected here?
Well, this is a very remote mountainous region, very narrow roads, so it's hampering rescue activities. Also, there's been a lot of landslides in the area in the last couple of days. The Taliban government has urged help from international organisations, but the disaster will stretch the Afghan government. It's already grappling with humanitarian crises in the country. There's also been a sharp drop in aid to that country. So all these factors coming together really doesn't help the Afghan people who are really suffering in this current crisis.
Yeah, and there's a complex situation, isn't there, around how much international aid or support the Taliban regime gets now. I don't know whether we know as yet the exact situation on the ground here. This earthquake obviously has only just happened in terms of how much international help is likely to come in and from where.
Yeah, I mean, many countries pulled back on their aid to the Taliban regime following, you know, the crisis in Afghanistan in the last couple of years. So it's been already the country was grappling with that. The Taliban has been, you know, kind of installed only in the last couple of years. So the problems now will be how can they elicit those aid requests that they're asking for now, and how willing are other governments going to be to provide aid to that country.
Aruna Iyengar, thank you very much indeed.